Last year, I found myself overwhelmed by a cluttered digital workspace. 7 productivity apps were open, each with promises of efficiency. Instead of boosting my productivity, I felt paralyzed by choice. It's ironic how tools designed to help can sometimes hinder. I remember realizing I was organizing tasks more than completing them. My project management tool, with its colorful tags and multiple boards, became a distraction. I spent hours rearranging tasks, feeling busy but not productive. Questions flooded my mind. Do I really need all these apps? Why was my to-do list a source of stress rather than guidance? I'm not alone. I've spoken to many who feel trapped, constantly seeking the next tool they think will magically solve their productivity woes. The truth is, the solution lies not in accumulating tools, but in understanding the hidden costs of those we already have. I once invested an entire weekend setting up a new app that promised to transform my time management. Categories for work, personal projects, even grocery shopping. By Monday, I had a beautifully organized system, but my productivity barely budged. That's when I learned complexity breeds chaos. Instead of simplifying my workflow, this app added layers of management. I realized my eagerness to optimize actually made my cognitive load heavier. Research shows our brains can only juggle so many tasks. I was adding to the load instead of lightening it. A friend faced a similar struggle. He spent hours creating an intricate note-taking system, only to find his important notes buried under poorly organized information. He often wished for the simplicity of pen and paper, a method that didn't require a manual. What if we could peel away unnecessary complexity and focus on what matters? I decided to take a week off from all productivity apps. The first day was daunting. No task managers, no timers, nothing to guide me. But then something surprising happened. I had to rely on my instincts. I crafted a simple list on a sticky note, just 3 items. Finish the report, respond to emails, brainstorm ideas for my next video. That day became one of my most productive in months. I discovered that clarity, not complexity, was key. Each task was straightforward and manageable. Reflecting on my previous tools, I realized they had added mental weight, draining my motivation. A colleague of mine experienced a similar epiphany when he ditched his overly detailed planner for a simple blank notebook. He found he could jot down ideas quickly without the pressure of formatting. Sometimes, less truly is more. But unlearning these habits takes time. We've conditioned ourselves to believe more features equate to better productivity. After my week of simplicity, I revisited my productivity tools with fresh eyes. I noticed most had features I never used, prompting me to question their value. I began evaluating tools with one question: does this genuinely simplify my workflow? Many apps I owned were packed with features I didn't utilize. For instance, my task manager was integrated with my email and calendar, yet I rarely took advantage of it. My daily tasks remained scattered, creating friction instead of fostering efficiency. In contrast, I found a basic to-do list app that let me check off tasks with no distractions. This minimalistic approach led to clearer focus. A friend streamlined his tools into a single app for task management and note-taking. He enjoyed a 30% boost in productivity within weeks. This taught me that we often choose complexity, mistaking it for power, while simplicity brings clarity. So how can we simplify our productivity systems without compromising effectiveness? The first step to simplifying is conducting an honest audit of your current tools. I sat down with a complete list of my apps and asked, what do I really need? I realized I was overly reliant on a project management tool I hadn't used in weeks. I eliminated it. For the tools I kept, I examined their core functions and stripped away features I didn't use. For example, I retained my note-taking app but disabled notifications and removed clutter from my folders. I also set guidelines for usage. If I found myself organizing tasks for more than 5 minutes, it was time for a re-evaluation. This exercise freed up mental space, allowing me to focus on what truly mattered. A friend merged his note-taking and task management into one tool, saving him significant time by being mindful about usage. Eliminating tools is one step, but establishing boundaries around the remaining tools is equally vital. I started setting strict boundaries for when and how I would use my productivity tools. For instance, I allocated 30 minutes each morning solely for planning my day. During this time, there were no notifications or distractions. I turned off sync features to avoid temptation throughout the day. This practice enabled me to engage in deep work without interruptions. As a result, my focus and productivity noticeably increased. A colleague adopted a similar routine, finishing his workday 2 hours earlier without sacrificing quality. By imposing limits, we can minimize distractions introduced by productivity tools, regaining control over our time. Once we implement these boundaries, we can cultivate a healthier relationship with productivity tools. Now, when I sit down to work, my productivity tools feel like allies, not obstacles. I've learned that productivity isn't about possessing the most tools, it's about mastering the ones that suit me. I focus on refining my existing systems while keeping them streamlined. My task list is simple, and my notes are organized intuitively. I've also embraced flexibility. Some days, I work best without any tools at all. This mindset shift has not only enhanced my efficiency, but also made work enjoyable. A former client once told me the best productivity tool is self-awareness and understanding your workflows. Each of us has unique needs. By honing in on what truly works for us, we can eliminate the noise and focus on what matters. While I still explore new tools, I'm now more discerning. The next time you feel overwhelmed by productivity tools, consider, are they serving you or are you serving them?